This November, we all know by now, big day, and in the midst of it all, there's about 10 states that are going to be deciding whether or not to codify so-called rights to abortion. And the amazing thing about all this is not just legislation. These are dealing with their state constitutions. And among those states is Missouri, where our FRC President Tony Perkins will be this coming Sunday. He's taking part in an inspiring evening of prayer and reflection and action, as he always does, leading the charge. And this is the Founded in Faith event. Tony there, among other things, will be addressing Missouri's critical Amendment 3 ballot initiative, which seeks to enshrine abortion rights into the Missouri State Constitution, as I mentioned. Well, here now to highlight this event is Pastor Phil Hopper of Abundant Life Church in Lee's Summit. That is where this event is being hosted. Pastor Phil, welcome to Washington Watch. Thank you for joining us.
It's a joy. Thank you for having me on the show.
Well, it's our honor. Listen, I love it when pastors step up to the plate and get involved. First of all, hats off to you. Thank you for doing so. But what made you feel like this was such an important event to host and to get involved with?
Yeah, well, as you said, it's legislation that will do more than simply legalize abortion on demand and sex changes for minors without parental consent. It will permanently enshrine it into the Missouri State Constitution, making it next to impossible to ever change. So if there's ever a time for the church to speak up and stand up, now would be the time. I cannot imagine sitting on our hands and keeping quiet at such a time as this.
I cannot either, and that's why I just say thank you for your role. What would you say, Pastor, to fellow Missouri Christians, fellow Missouri pastors who might have the attitude that church is not the place for Christians to speak into the political world, that Christians in general even should not be speaking into the political issues like abortion? What would you say to them?
It's one of the great fallacies of the day. Faith has always shaped culture. Culture always has shaped laws from the beginning of human civilization. That's how it works. So Jesus said, of course, in Matthew 5, that we're the salt of the earth. And Jesus today, salt was a preservative from decay. His teaching is very clear. We're to be a preservative from the moral, spiritual decay of the day. We're going to stand in the way of the decay of the day. That's what Jesus has called us to do. And so our faith should very much form our activism when it comes to this type of legislation that is frankly straight out of the pit of hell. When we're talking about giving sex change operations to minors, reaching into a woman's womb to murder the unborn, yeah, for what God is for, let our heart breaks for what breaks the heart of God. And God forbid, God help us that any professing Christian would stand idly by right now and do nothing, or worse yet, be on the other side, as I have heard some Christians try to articulate, even from the Bible, why this would be something acceptable or even moral in the eyes of God. That would be akin to Christians in the antebellum South actually using the Bible to try to prove the institution of slavery is biblical. There's nothing biblical about this, as you know.
Well said. All right, we have a large audience that tunes into Washington Watch across Missouri and that entire area. Tell us the who, what, when, and where of this event.
Yeah, this event is going to be 6 p.m. Sunday night, October the 13th, at our Lee Summit campus, Lee Summit being a southeast suburb of Kansas City. So David actually as one of the keynotes, and then your own Tony Perkins will keynote the night as we talk about what is Amendment 3, a lot of misinformation, disinformation. So this is a night certainly of reflection and prayer, but it's a call to action. And Tony is coming specifically to kind of bullet point what exactly is in this legislation, what are the implications if indeed it does pass.
Now, if for those of us who are not near Missouri, is this going to be live streamed as well?
It will absolutely be live streamed. They can live stream at our website, livingproof.co. It'll also be on our Facebook account as well.
Well, we again are so grateful for what you're doing. I know there are high expectations, high degrees of prayer for this event as it's coming up. And Pastor Phil, I just again want to say God bless you and your church family for stepping up at such a time as this. Is such a critical moment in our nation's history, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for all the role that you were taking in your church family. Thank you.
A pivotal moment. Thank you for all the work of Family Research Council. We're grateful.